Good afternoon. It's Vanessa Baker here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Auckland, New Zealand. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make a box to make the cards we did last week to be able to give them as a gift. So that's what today is about, and hopefully it will be a bit shorter. Last week was over an hour, so thanks for those who stuck with me or watched the replay, and I hope you enjoyed the project. So we're going to extend that a bit today in a slightly different colouring technique, still with the brushes, but a different way to use the masks. And I just wanted to quickly mention the virtual album retreat that Stampin' Up is running. It's happening in July. The kit is available now. It is a little bit of an investment. It's 525 New Zealand dollars. But what that gives you is 12 double-page layouts, and the kit comes completely ready for you to craft. Everything's cut and ready to go, and there's also an event that goes along with it, on a 3-day event on Facebook. And when you purchase the kit, you get access to that event. And so they step you through every step of making each of the pages. And Stampin' Up have put a bit of a walkthrough of each of the pages up on their website today, and it looks amazing. And I'm sort of going, oh, do I get it, don't I? But if you're a scrapbooker, I'm kind of I've dipped my toe into scrapbooking, but not fully immersed in it. So, but if you're a scrapbooker, I think you will love it. So that's something to look out for. And also I've added some class dates to the schedule. I've been in touch with my lovely hostesses around Auckland, and I've got the Remuera class. I've got a couple of dates in there on a Tuesday night. So if you're from that area and you're looking for a way to do some handmade cards, then have a look at my offering there. And I've also put in some other dates for the botany and the ones that I host here. So I'm just going to make sure that my sound is working. And I've got, yep, that's all good. Okay, so we'll pop that to the side and I'll flip the camera around. Right, so as you'll recall, these were the cards that we made. I'll just put that over here. Last week. So we did the one A4 or full-size piece of cardstock and did our design and then cut it up and made the cards. So this week I'm going to do a box to put them in and give them as a gift. So here are our envelopes, and the one thing you need to think about when you're making your box is the envelope size. I nearly made the mistake of creating it to match the card size, but then I remembered, no, the envelopes are slightly larger. So anyway, I will have the measurements for you at the end when I send out the PDF. So if you're on my mailing list, you will get all the measurements that you need. Hello to those who are joining live. Lovely to have you along. Okay, so the first thing, I'm getting hot actually. I thought that might happen. I'm just going to whip off my jumper. I think it's just standing. Makes me hot. Okay, try again. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to do the box. So I'm just using, now I've cleaned my masks and it looks like I've got, I just did that standing here, but my card was on the table. Actually, it won't matter. Let's cover that up. Okay. Actually, no, it will. No, I'll get another piece. I'll use that for something else. Okay, clean, fresh piece of paper. This is a thick, basic white. And our first score lines are just going to come down the sides. So this is making, this score line dictates how high your box is. We're going to do it at 2 centimetres. Just lining that up with the marks at the top and the bottom of my trimmer like that, and so I'm going to do 2 centimetres and 19 centimetres. So you have to fold the arm out for this bit. And it should also line up at the 2 centimetre mark, so that's your double check. So you've got 2 centimetres on each side. Okay, now we're going to turn it into the horizontal mode, and we're going to do 2 centimetres again because it's got 4 sides. So we have to do the same. And this style of box is like a pizza box. So you know how a pizza box hinges and lifts up in the front? Well, that's the style we're making. Next one is 13.8 and then 15.8. So we're making another 2 centimetres in the middle here. 15.8 and then 27.6, which should also line up with our 2 centimetre. So you can double check that you've got that at 2 on this side as well. Excuse me. And that's all the scoring. Just put that away. So for cutting, we're going to cut, all we're going to cut is the long sides, and we're just going to cut them up to where the first score line comes through. So hopefully you can see this clearly. Perhaps if I just raise it up a bit. I'm going to come up this line just to where that score line goes through there. And I'm going to do that on all of the ones on this side. And then spin it round and do the same on the other side. Yeah, it's got quite warm. It was freezing this morning. It was only 3 degrees here. But it has warmed up a lot. Okay, so with this style of box, I will try and see if we can do it with the edges of the tab straight. I just find that it makes it harder to get it skew. If we trim that little bit off, and angle the edges of that cut tab, when you put the tab under, it can mean it's easier to get it out of alignment. So we'll just try with them straight. If we need to trim a little bit off, we can do that. So now I'm just going to go through with my bone folder and fold all of these scores. Just making sure they're straight, and then come through this way as well. And the secret to boxes is doing the burnishing of the score lines. So this now should fold directly in half like that. You can see I'm lined up on each of those sides. And then this way, do the same. And that one. Okay, so we've got everything scored. Now, I might at this point just do a little dry run to figure out. Sometimes, and especially when your paper is a funny measurement to start with, like 29.7 long, I think I've worked out all my measurements correctly, but before I start gluing or stamping or doing anything else, I thought I would just do a little dry fit. So this is, oh look, that's actually coming off my got more of that pink on there. It's actually coming off my glass mat. That's the problem. Right, that should fix that hopefully. Okay, so it folds up. I haven't glued anything, but that's the shape we're going for. And I just wanted to test that it actually folded up. Okay, so now we're going to decorate, and I just want something really subtle. As you'll remember, the cards ended up being quite, they're pink, they're sort of bright, but they're pretty and subtle. So that's the look I'm going for with my box. And so this is the different technique using the mask. So that's our mask number 1. I'm going to skip that and go on to mask number 2. Excuse me, still got my frog. And you can use this without stamping. So what I'm going to do is simply cover up that bit that I got off the glass mat. So I'm just going to get some ink, and I need a little piece of scrap here, because again I don't want to put ink on here because, as you've just seen, it gets everywhere. And I'm going to have it so it comes off the edge a bit. So you're going to see some of this pretty pattern on the side of the box as well. But I do want to hide all of that, so go about there. And I want this quite light. I want it to look really light and soft. Hopefully I haven't got too much ink on my brush. There we go. So it's just giving you a hint of the pattern that is in the cards and linking it all together, but without the black line and without being too heavy. So then I can use because remember we used this flower as well. So let's pop him in down here. Actually going off that corner as well, and just do a little sponging through that one. Probably could come further down with my camera. Actually, I might be getting too dark there too. Yeah, so just watch that you don't get too dark. And then I could move maybe that one again up in this corner, which I probably didn't need any more ink. It's go really soft. That one's too soft now. But you can just pick up the mask like that and just check it as you go. So then I want something over here. And I'm going to be covering up some of this with my decoration on the top, but I do want some of it to be seen on the edges, and it's a bit light, so we'll just go a little bit heavier. And you want them to sort of be all about the same. That one's a little bit lighter, but I'm happy with that. And let's put a whole flower in here. And I'm not going to re-ink, I'll just see if I can get it. Yeah, great. And a little of this one. So I'm just going around and filling in the gaps. So I've got things happening on the edges of the box and on the top. This is also a nice thing to do inside the cards. I don't think I did that on these ones, but again, it just gives that hint of what's happening on the outside, so it all matches, but it's not so heavy. And you can write over it. You could do it bang smack in the middle and then just have your writing going over it. And then there's a little gap here for this last. Actually, I could do it. Is it bigger that way? It's a good idea to twist it around so it doesn't all look the same. Yep, that looks good. So you'll see that we've got a really nice soft effect for our lid. And I'm not going to do the bottom because you won't really see that. although you can do it if you want to. Excuse me. Okay, so now let's stick the box together. Where's my glue? Here. So I'm using Tombow because it just gives you that little bit of wiggle room when you're making a box. So I want the tabs to come on the inside, and they're going to connect like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and a little bit here. Probably can't see that, how much I've used. So not too much, we don't want it oozing out. And then when I bring it up, what I want to do is aim for this line here to be straight. And by leaving that corner uncut, it's helping to keep it square. And then we'll just go to this side and do the same. So you just need to hold it for a few seconds just so the glue takes. Okay, and then that's our bottom. So let's do these these little ones here. So they go inside as well. And so I'm looking for that nice straight line in that corner. Try and hold that while I turn this one around and do it one-handed. Can I do it? And there is a little bit sticking up there, but you can just trim that off. So if I just bend this back the wrong way for a moment. Behave yourself. I could just get in here with my snips and just trim off that little bit, although it's actually not going to matter because the lid's going to come down and cover that, but it is tricky to get into. Maybe I should just leave it. It's not a very big amount. Yeah, it's going to be tricky to get off. Actually, if I go this way, maybe. Because I can't see where I'm going. I'm going to leave it. If it becomes an issue, then we'll tackle it again. Okay, so now we just have to make up the lid. So I want these two tabs here to come on the inside. Again, just making sure that corner's nice and square. It's one of those things, you measure 2 centimetres and it's different. Out by like a millimetre there. But I don't think it's going to matter. Okay, and then that is now going to come down over the top. Like that. And that's our box. Easy peasy. And it's got a really pretty cover that coordinates with our cards. Okay, so I'm going to put the cards inside with my envelopes. Just like that. And then just looking, because it's got... Oh, I'm happy with that. Okay, good. Excuse me. Gosh, this jolly throat. Okay, now for the front decoration, I've got a circle which has been cut from the Spotlight on Nature dies. So this die set has many, many circles, and this I think is the largest one, this one here. Oh, that one's pretty big too, with the little flower petals. So really cute, useful set of dies. Spotlight on nature. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to do another flower. So you saw me do this last week. So this time I decided to use the hydrangea because I just love the softness of it. My favourite out of the set. Okay, so we're going to stamp that with our black memento and then colour it. So back to the masks. And in keeping with last week, I'm not going to do layer 1 again. That was that sort of background one that fills in behind the flowers. So I'm going to put that one to one side and go with number 2, which is the one we had before. And let's see if I can line, oh, that was pretty easy to line that up. I didn't need to use the leaves as a guide. Okay, and I want that light pink. This is Bubble Bath. And again, I want to keep it about the same intensity as those cards that I made. So our second wash of colour will be a bit brighter. That's with the Melon Mambo. We'll just get about the right amount of this. So I'm just pressing harder without actually adding more ink. I'm just trying to get a bit more out of my brush to get the colour that I want. So that's about right. Then I've got the next one, number 3. Oh, this is probably going to be harder to line up. Let's see how we go. Let's get that first one back. So I had that with the notch up there. So I want the notch up there. Kind of had it nearly right, I think, but I've got this over here that doesn't make any sense. To twist it more. Aha. There we go. Got it. And we're using this time the Melon Mambo, which is quite a bright pink, as you can see from my brush. So I'm not going to add any more ink to that yet. I'll see how I go for intensity. But I want to keep the softness of this look, so I don't want to go too bright. That already might be too much. Oh no, that's okay. It looks more intense through here as I'm doing it than it actually does in real life. I guess because it looks more intense because you're looking through the shape. But when I pull it back, it's actually not that intense. So do I do more or leave it at that? Tiny bit more. Tiny bit. That'll do. Okay. Okay, so now we need to do the leaves. So I've got my outline leaf one here, and that is Granny Apple Green. And we used this brush in the weekend, so I'm just going to see what's left on there. Oh, it's dried, I think. Not much coming off, so get some more ink. There we go, that's better. I had a class in the weekend they had 9 people. Oh, that's a bit dark. That's okay, we'll stop there. A bit crazy with the green. It's all good. So, just line up the next mask. This is number 5. Okay. The trick with this one is you've got this little piece of stem down here, and sometimes I forget to even put the ink in there. Pressing harder because I want this one a bit darker, but I didn't want to go too dark again. But I'm having to go darker because of I went a bit dark with that first layer. Pressing harder now. Just get a bit more ink off my brush. Yep, that looks good without overwhelming it. Okay, so that's our colouring. I said this was going to be quick. Fabulous idea, a great gift. Yes, absolutely. Right, so I have actually got one that I have coloured already and cut out ahead of time, so we don't have to do the die cutting part. So that's going to go on there. Oh, I just love it, so pretty. Excuse me. I did toy with the idea of doing a layer on here, but I liked the idea of having the colour come down the sides of the box. So I might put that on first. So let's put, I think that might go flat. They're on dimensionals as well. Maybe I do double dimensional or single dimensional. Double dimensional. Let's do 2. Okay. Let's go crazy. And I like to put them in the middle as well. That's because life happens and things can get pressed in the middle. Cards, can happen in the post, things like that. So if you haven't got a dimensional in the middle, it's going to, it can press your layer down and it may not spring back up. Okay. Then I'm going to dimension this, and I think it fits pretty well on there. Yep. Let's put one in the middle. Put smaller ones around. These are already cut. Somebody nicely cut them for me. Oh, now I've got to cut my own. Just do a few at once while you've got the scissors in your hand, I say. Okay, one there. Another one here. That might be overkill, but... oh, and I'm going to put one down there as well. Okay, let's get this on. Yes, I'm thinking this virtual retreat might be a good way to get me into scrapbooking. Because once you make the investment, it's you kind of have to finish it, So that's where I am at the moment, toying with that idea. Okay, now I've got a piece of the faux velvet ribbon, and this is in fresh freesia? Yes, fresh freesia. So I've cut a piece, and I'm going to just make it into that little ribbon shape, like the breast cancer little ribbon. And, excuse me, tie a piece. Now this is too long. It was cut for something else and didn't get used. So just make a loop for it. And I'm going to tie it around this ribbon to keep it in shape, and then I can tie a little bow just like that. Oops, now it's upside down. So before I tighten my bow, I like to make sure the the legs are going in the right direction. If you've got one stuck up here, if that was upwards, that's how it's going to end up. So I've got them both pointing the right way. Then I just tighten it, and then I'll adjust the loops for size. And yeah, like I said, I've got far too much of this twine here, but It was a piece that was already cut. Okay, so about that size. And now I'll just trim those bits off. Need to sharpen my scissors. Oh, excuse me. Right, now, oh, my legs here have crossed. One longer than the other. I think those bows are meant to be about the same. So my thought is to have that about there. And then I've got my With Love, which we used on the other cards last week as well. So I've gone ahead and pre-stamped that, and that's going to sit sort of in there. And I thought that was quite pretty for the front. So glue dots. Glue dots. Let's go looking. Like I say, I had this class, so some of my stuff's still in the class box. Right. So we'll grab a glue dot and push our little bow onto it, and then we can just pick it up. Make sure everything's still in the right direction. And then I thought I'd have it just sort of off the edge, or on the edge rather, of the circle. And then I'm going to put a dimensional in that gap and then pop my sentiment there. Just get a small piece. The sentiment's going to be half on a dimensional and half on just with glue. So I put the dimensional there because if I put it on the back of here, I don't know quite where it's going to end up. And then I can just see that I'm going to need to put glue under this end of my sentiment that's going to sit on top of the flowers. So probably just a little dot under the E and a little dot up there. That's all we need. And then I just want to make sure it's straight. I really wanted to find a For You. I thought, because it's a gift, that For You would be great, but I don't seem to have one at the moment. Not one that's current anyway. I'm sure I've got tons up on my shelf. Right, so that's basically it. Oh, we've got our... Oh, now, did I take the... Yes, excuse me, my bling was at the... in my class in the weekend, so I'm just hunting in my boxes here to see where I've put it. I do not have it out. It's the Starburst sequins. Oh dear. Seem to have misplaced them somewhere. Oh, hang on. This could be... Here we go. Here we go. So you remember that we used the... did we use? We used the pink, didn't we? Let's double check. Yes, we used the pink. So we'll do the same. Now, where to put them? I've kind of already got something around my sentiment. So perhaps we go... That could add to the sentiment. Actually, let's put it there. And then we could put them actually on the flowers. Be nice. Give a bit of sparkle. So one there and one there, there, there. So that was super easy to make a box. Like I say, a pizza-shaped box for your handmade gift. And I'm sure anybody would love to receive a wee box full of cards. I know my friends do when I do that as a gift. And yeah, a really sweet little gift box. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will be sending out the tutorial once I've written it later on this week. And I hope you join me again next week, and have a lovely week and a long weekend here in New Zealand. So we're celebrating Matariki, which is a lovely festival in the Maori culture, and that's on Friday. So we're having a long weekend here for that. So yeah, I'll see you again next week.